Congresswoman.
We've been joined by Congresswoman Marcia Fudge, is also Secretary. I'm getting all the titles. Secretary Marcia Fudge as well, who has served as. Let her put her headphones on. Let her put her headphones on. Who has served as the Housing and Urban Development Secretary most recently. She is also the co-chair of Harris Walls for President. And as Andrew has said, he kept saying, Madam President, I was just at the Midwestern Conference for Delta Sigma Theta where I got to speak. And the love that she has as a past president of Delta Sigma Theta is beyond. And so we are so happy to see you and have you. How are you doing?
I am wonderful.
You look lighter. You just
listen, I'm going to tell you what. Now, you know I don't do interviews.
I know.
I do it with you all because I like you. I don't do that.
You did Breakfast Club before.
And you did.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
She's saying because she loves you, that's why she ran that thing back.
You're too busy doing the work. That's why you ain't got time to be doing interviews.
Exactly.
That's right. That's
I
right.
have no time for TV.
Secretary Fudge, I'm so happy that you're joining us. You led the Housing and Urban Development Agency, cabinet-level agency during this administration. I'm curious your thoughts because there are a lot of people who are very eager to hear specific policy points coming from Vice President Harris's campaign. She alluded to some housing policy when she did her economic rollout in North Carolina. What did you make of the specific points that she made about housing? Because so many people in our community, generationally, we've had to battle redline communities. Now we're battling challenges with banking and getting financing. I know in Georgia that's a big issue. What did you make of her policy points, and what advice might you offer when it comes to home ownership and the policy that she builds around that?
She wrote them.
Well,
I'm going to lift up her.
I had a little input in that. I did have some input in it. What we are talking about is making sure that we can have home ownership. We have for so long, you said it right, whether it be redlining, whether it be the increasing rents, what we know is that housing is a crisis in this country.
That's right.
But it is especially a crisis in core communities and communities like ours. What you're going to hear is how we're going to address down payment assistance. What you're going to hear is how we can keep people in their homes. What you're going to hear is we have started programs where we have actually sued appraisers, and they have now finally decided that they're going to change the way they appraise properties in our neighborhoods. We are looking at how we can make more people of color creditworthy by not counting double, basically, for student loan debt, credit card debt. So we are finding ways to make it an easier process. But in the meantime, what we are doing is we are also making it easier for people to live in housing that we have by assisting with more resources for rent, more resources for public housing. And the one thing that I'm really, really very proud of, and she probably won't mention it, but I think that you need to know, when I first came to HUD, if you had a criminal record, you could not live in public housing.
Yes, I know.
We changed that.
Yes.
I did that on my way out the door. Because we have to keep families together.
More, Secretary Judge? Like, that's something that y'all should be making billboards about.
We should, but you know, sometimes you can't tell people what you're doing until it's done. But now it's done. And so we're telling people because it brings families together. If people come out of incarcerated situations and they have no place to go, the rate of recidivism goes up really, really high. So we're trying to do away with that. But we are working very diligently. And you will see some, I don't want to preempt her speech, but you are going to see that she is serious about housing in this country. Whether it's private equity people coming in and buying houses up in our community, they literally told me that they will buy a house in 6 minutes. They'll make a decision to come into my neighborhood and buy a house in 6 minutes. They put a few $1,000s in it. They raise the rent so that the people who live there can't live there anymore. So we're dealing with those issues.
So her speech tomorrow is going to be heavy on policy, because that's one of the things that, you know, listeners were calling in the Breakfast Club this week saying that they don't feel like they're hearing enough policy talk here at the DNC. So is she going to focus on that heavy tomorrow?
She is going to focus on policy, and she is going to address housing.
Wow.
Not as in-depth as I have, but you will know that it is a priority. And it is a priority.
You know, one of the things, Ms. Fudge, that I think is so important is a black woman is running for president. You are serving as a black woman campaign co-chair, and I have never known you to back away from any black issue. You are former chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, and there are folks who are literally questioning her blackness. This AKA from Howard University, this prosecutor with a progressive record that has always fought for and on behalf of black people, black mothers in the Senate. But can you please tell the listeners who are somehow still skeptical, the viewers who are somehow still skeptical, why this is not a question for you at all? Why you're very clear about that?
Let me say first this: she's blacker than the other one. Let's start there. Now we go from there.
That's fire.
When I first met Kamala Harris some years ago, the reason we met is because I was working in black communities to make sure that my people got something out of our vote.
There you go.
And even today, she understands I hold this campaign accountable.
That's right.
I was on a call last week, and I was asking, how much money have we put into our community? How many grassroots organizations have we given money to? Now, it wasn't a comfortable conversation. But it's a conversation that we needed to have. And she made clear to them, give Marcia Fudge what she wants. Because she knows that I am her voice for black people. Because, you know, I'm unapologetically black.
That's it.
Yes, we do know this.
And she is as well. You know, she has a persona that is going to be important for all people, but do not underestimate her blackness ever.
So, Secretary Fudge, if a black man in Chicago walked up to you right now and said, tell me 3 tangible things that the Biden-Harris administration did over the last, 3.5 years, almost 4 years, what would you say?
Well, let me start. I can start and give you a whole lot of them. I'm going to start with getting us out of COVID when black people were dying disproportionately. $1,400 checks, child tax credit where we gave children, every child in the family, $300 a month for a whole year.
That's right.
Then I can go to the money that we put in education, in health care, the fact that we have done away with student debt. And I can go on and on. You want me to do some more?
Well, she said that was 3.
Secretary, I think what's so important about that, though, and Charlamagne, to your point, this information is readily available. So if people have those questions, it's listed. Their accomplishments are listed on the White House website. And I encourage people to go and seek information yourself, share information responsibly, because there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation, specifically, as you know, Charlamagne, targeted to black men. And speaking of black men, we do want to bring it to the conversation.
Jamie.
Can I say this one last thing, though? Can I just say this one last thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Joe Biden nominated and confirmed more black women to the federal bench than all other presidents combined. He picked a black vice president, a black Supreme Court justice, and I can go on. But I'm going to leave it to you, Mr. Chairman.
Before you introduce it, the reason why that's so important, because it's not just symbolic because there's a black face. It's because there's a collective lived experience that when you're sitting on that bench and you look out into the courtroom on the defense and the prosecution side, and you've grown up understanding that there's an over-incarceration and over-prosecution and over-surveillance in our community, then you just happen to take a different approach. You've seen white judges sit up there at the bench and say, if it wasn't for your father, I would have you in the slammer. Because they have personal relationship. We don't criminalize that when they have personal relationship.
But we need those judges to have that kind of humanity when they see us, though, because a lot of times you see those black judges on the stand, they don't have that kind of humanity.
We are not talking about Clarence.
But more public defenders. You need more public defenders to be elevated. So often we pay an outsized amount of attention to the Supreme Court, but the lower courts are also incredibly impactful, specifically when it comes to us in a very unforgiving criminal justice system. But, Mr. Chair, I know you've been trying to get in here. So thank you for joining us.
And he doesn't
What's up, Mr. Chair, South Carolina? What's happening?
That's right.
My buddy.
South Carolina connection.
That's right. You know,
my thought partner right over there, Angela Rye.
Love
my
you.
auntie right there, Secretary Fudge.
You know, I executive produced Jamie's documentary, In the Bubble.
In the Bubble.
That's right. Absolutely.
He did.
Absolutely.
It's a phenomenal film. We did a panel on it this week. Jamie, I want to hear from you because I know you have to go. He literally carved out a little bit of time for us. I want the people to hear from you about why this moment, how this moment feels to you, what you are expecting tonight. We haven't even got into the agenda tonight. We'll hear from Tim Walz. Tell us all the things.
Well, one, I want to add something on the black judges. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, over 200 judges, 59 of them have been black. Now, black people, I'm doing my black math, only represent about 13% of the population.
Of course.
59 over 200,
Indexed.
that's over 25% of the judges he has appointed have been black. This
we got
is
a lot
also
of room to make up for, though.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Because Trump appointed over 200 white men with the lifetime appointments on the federal bench.
That's exactly right. But when you think about it, he's appointed, as the secretary said, more black women to the appellate court than all presidents combined.
Yeah.
And so we got to give him credit.
That's right.
And we got to say there's still more work to do.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when you think about this administration, what they have done is that they have transformed things. They even changed the political process, right? All of my life, we have started the political process in Iowa and New Hampshire. And ain't nothing wrong with Iowa and New Hampshire. I love them. Good Democrats in that state.
Not other than.
But not very many of us that live in those states.
At all.
That's right.
But this president and this vice president said we got to change that. If we keep saying that black folks make up the heart and the soul and the backbone of the Democratic Party, then why are they relegated to the back of the bus to choose the next president instead of being at the front of the bus? And that's why Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and yours truly at the DNC changed the schedule. We moved South Carolina to be the first. The state where 40% of enslaved people came through the port of Charleston.
Gadsden's Wharf.
Exactly. Where many of their progeny picked cotton, now are the first people to pick the most powerful person on the face of the earth.
Come on, John.
And then he added Georgia, and he added Michigan, and he moved up Nevada.
That's right.
And as a result of that, for the first time in American history, 4 out of the 5 early states were led by black women.
Yes.
Now, Jamie, here's the only thing.
Yes.
I love that you are a foot soldier for the party and you are faithful to it. And I love that no matter what we try to do, we always heal staffers. Sir, I'm going to need you to take some ownership for some of your accomplishments as chair. And I want the folks to know about the work that you're doing. It's so important, Jamie. There's a lot of investment that you've made in our communities. Before you got up here, Ms. Fudge was like, no, I'm asking about where the money's being spent, even when I am friendly. We still have demands to make. So talk about some of those things and what else you're expecting from the convention. But save your voice, and we need to find you a mint tea right away. I'm hearing it.
I've been drinking tea all day.
Lord Jesus.
But you know, that's when you have a family reunion and everybody get together and everybody is happy and dancing and crying.
And you the cousin that got to speak to everybody.
Everybody.
We drinking cognac then, though, for the family reunion. I ain't drinking no mint tea.
Oh, Lord. Please don't bring no brown liquor in here.
Well, listen, sometimes the tea got a little bit in it.
There you go.
Hot toddy.
But listen, I'm so proud, and I'm proud to do my black job as chair of the DNC, along with my sister in the struggle, Morrow, who I know is going to be here right now. Y'all, we have put on, and I'm not just bragging on this, but people are telling me this is the best convention that they've ever attended ever in their lives.
Wow.
Right? We gavelled in. Think about the history of this moment. 60 years ago, Fannie Lou Hamer testified at the Credentials Committee of the DNC convention. And in that, it was an all-white delegation. Black folks couldn't be a part of it. And you fast forward 60 years, and a black woman from south side of Chicago and a black round-headed kid from Orangeburg, South Carolina, gavelled in a convention of the Democratic Party where we are nominating a black woman to be president of the United States, folks. Think about the moment, folks. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in it, we got to step back and really think about the moment that we are in. And what Mignon and I, we're not just there because, you know, people like to call you token.
Figurehead.
Right? Figurehead. We're not just sitting there. I'm looking at the money that we utilize. We made sure that the first contracts that we offered at this convention were going to black folks. The production, a lot of the production for this convention was a black production team for the first time in the history. What we have done in terms of diversity, equity, inclusion at the DNC, I've made sure that the contracts, our largest contract at DNC goes to a black firm, our security firm. So we are making progress. Are we there yet? Hell no. But are we making progress to get there? We are. And then having Marcia Fudge and Cedric Richmond over in the campaign, and Jim Clyburn over the campaign as co-chairs, and Secretary Fudge is on it.
I know.
On it.
We know.
I've already
on it.
Staff at the campaign would tell me, oh man, I was on with Secretary Fudge and she was asking some questions.
She just told us. We didn't see.
You know, I wanted to ask you, Secretary Judge, how does this energy, you know, as a woman differ from Hillary in 2016, like the energy around the vice president?
It's very, very different. First, let me say that I was very involved in the Hillary Clinton campaign, and I believe that because of people like Hillary Clinton and Barbara Jordan and Shirley Chisholm, that Kamala has a chance to win.
That's right.
You know, they started kicking in that ceiling for us, and so now it's just full of cracks, and we're just going to tear it down. But it's different because she is mine.
Yes.
She is one of mine. The history, that was historic, but not like this. I got chills sitting here.
I love that.
Because she is one of mine.
I love that.
And I'm so proud to be able to work with somebody who I believe is going to bring this country together, who is going to show people that we are not just competent, we are superior in many ways. So they think because, oh, it's just because she's black. No, it's not because she's black. It's because she's the best. She's qualified. She's educated. She has worked hard. I mean, nobody gets to that place just by happenstance. We put in the work, and she has put in the work. And I feel it every single day. I carry it every day.
I love it. I know you all have so much to do, and so we're so grateful, Ms. Fudge. I am ever grateful that you made time to do an interview.
We all are.
She was like, I'm doing this for y'all. But we love you. Keep asking the tough questions and tell us where we can lean in and support you.
And keep holding this administration accountable. Keep holding them all accountable.
I was going to say that because, listen, when I walk in the room, they just like, Lord, here she comes. But let me just say this one thing, to black men in particular. I hear a lot about she was a prosecutor. I was a prosecutor, too. But what I don't hear is, who speaks for that mother whose son or daughter is killed? What I don't hear is when George Floyd was killed, they wanted a black prosecutor. When Breonna Taylor was killed, they wanted a black prosecutor. You can't have it both ways. You know, when they want a diversion program, you want a black prosecutor. We do our jobs. But it's also us to give you a second chance. It's also black prosecutors that will say, you know what? I know that you should be in jail, but I'm going to give you a break.
She's done that with the Back on Track program.
Absolutely right.
Well, I'm going to tell you what.
Have to tell that part of the story.
Let me tell you what. You have been summoned. You have to do more interviews. We love you.
Thank you, Secretary Fudge.
We love you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We love you.
Jamie, you stand with us?
Yeah, he's got us.